Hey everybody, it's Mike here with a quick tips video. This one on Google Forms, a very powerful tool that you can use to gather information, anything from like on attendees to meetings and so forth, but also surveys and all that jazz. We use Google Forms quite often here at CivCom. As you've experienced, we used Google Forms to collect your information for what laptop you wanted, to gather your credit card information, to gather some new hire experience data. So there's a lot of applications for Google Forms. So I'm excited to show you how to use this tool. This actually came about naturally because Kim reached out to me. She wanted to see if Google Meets, if there was a way to kind of pull out the attendee list or those who have attended via the Google Meet. So her partnership is going to meet partly in person and partly remotely. And so she wanted an easy way to grab that information from Google Meets for those folks that would be joining virtually. I couldn't find anything immediately in Google Meets to do that. There may be a way. I'll continue to investigate. But in the meantime, this is a great use for Google Form and is pretty simple to put together a form that could gather the attendee information for those that are attending virtually, but also for those that are in the room as well. So the first thing you want to do is navigate to Forms. And you kind of want to know what you're building. So Kim has sent me a list of the information that she wants to capture in this Google form. So I think I have what I need to get Kim what she needs. So let's create a new form. I'll also show you how I kind of set up the formatting. So the first thing I do at the top, you see this customize theme button. It looks kind of like a painter's palette. And so you can click that button. It opens this side panel. And I go ahead and change the theme color to this the cyan color here. It is pretty close to our CivCom green color. Personally, I changed this to white because I use a logo at the top of this by choosing the header image. And that header image is that kind of CivCom teal color. So I'm going to upload that photo. All right, so I got my logo here. I'm gonna hit done. And there we go. Oh, let's change that background back to gray. I think it's looking pretty snazzy. All right, so let's call this form, we'll call this partnership sign-in sheet. And I'll go ahead and add meeting. We can call this anything we want. I'll just put that in here for now. And then let's go ahead and make sure this is saved as such. There we go. And then I like to move things right away because so when you start something new, it's going to automatically put it into my drive. So while I'm making sure it's named correctly, I go ahead and move it to wherever makes the most sense. So I am going to go ahead and put it in the BTFF provider drive. And we're going to go ahead and put it in Alachua County because that's where Kim is. And go ahead and move here. All right. Yes. All right. Here we go. So you can put a form description in here. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank. That's optional. But if you're going to be sending this to partners or so forth, this is just a little bit of context, like just gathering some information on you who are attending this tobacco-free partnership meeting, something of that sort. All right. So the first thing we want to gather is their name. I recommend breaking it up first name, last name. That way when it gets, because everything that you gather in this Google form will automatically, for the most part, get exported into an Excel or like a Google Sheets document. And it's nice to have the name, the first name and the last name separated, especially if you want to do any filtering and things of that sort. And it also helps if you have folks that are like, name, Mike, and it's like, actually, I wanted your first and last name. So it just kind of it just makes it harder for someone to not give you the response you're looking for. So I'm going to do first name. And then I'm going to make this required. So that way they have to fill it out. And then I just hit the little duplicate button down here. And I'm just going to change this to last name. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. I like doing the duplicate because it just, I don't know, it just makes it a little easier. It automatically duplicates it with the required. And then I'm just updating the, the text field. And the next thing we want to capture is their title. So we'll say organization title. And we'll say organization name. And then we're going to collect email address. And phone number. This is pretty riveting, I know. And I think that's it. I think that is it. All right, great. So that's it. So we've got all of the information that we're asking for. Everything is marked as required. So I can go ahead and preview this now by clicking on this little eye icon at the top, kind of see what they will get when I forward them this link. And it's pretty straightforward, right? Cool. And then even before you get responses, you can go ahead and create this spreadsheet. And we're going to go ahead and create a new spreadsheet. And as you can see, it will populate a timestamp, and it will fill out each one of these columns for every response that's received. And it will do this automatically. You can just, at any point in your Google form, you can just click on this button and it will open the latest and greatest in terms of the responses you've received. You can also do some additional customizations as well to that Google spreadsheet. I've used this where I've added additional columns in here so like maybe there's things that, come in through that Google form, but I also want to capture some other details about the individuals. I can add a note column here and so forth and do that. So I've also added additional tabs at the bottom. Just keep in mind, you can do all those extra things. What will get populated though, when you get new responses, are only the fields of information that you're asking for on that Google form. So that's Google Forms in a nutshell. Very easy to use, very easy to create, lots of different applications. So when you're all done with your Google form, you can just go ahead and send it. You can also add additional collaborators. So I added Kim as a collaborator on this Google form. But if I'm ready to send, then I can go ahead and hit send. When I do that, I have a few different options to send it out. I can send it out via an email right from Google Forms. So it'll just show up in their inbox right from Google Forms. I can update the partnership, I can update the subject. I can update the message to whatever I choose. And you also have this option to include the form in email. So Google has this thing where you can kind of dynamically edit and respond right in the body of an email without even replying. We've sent out Google Forms where it's included in the email and you can respond to the form right without ever having to open the form. That works pretty well within Civicom and probably across any email addresses that are on the Google platform. However, with your partnership members, that's going to be a little bit more unknown. So I would recommend not checking this box unless you're sure everybody's on Google. And other than that, once you've got all your email addresses in there, or you've copied the email address or the link to this Google form and pasted it into your own email, you can fire that off and folks will start to enter their information into that form. So this is a great use, not just, again, for folks that are attending virtually, but this might also make sense for your partnership members that are participating in person. Getting it all gathered in one location is definitely ideal, and why not use this Google form to help facilitate that? And also, again, if you have any quick tip video ideas, please let me know. I'd be happy to add that to the list and get those out in the near future. So wishing everyone the best, and I'll see you on another quick tips video probably very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.